Welcome back to the channel and another installment in my complete knot tying series, Not Easy. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you the best possible knot for tying your line to the spool of your fishing reel, the inverted uni knot. We're going to get right into it, but before we do, if you guys do enjoy the video today or learn something of value here, I'd appreciate it if you'd like, comment, and subscribe. And now without further ado, let's go tie a knot. Alright guys, for the purposes of visibility today, I'm going to be using this high visibility 200-pound braid and my Stratic 3000 here, and I've gone ahead and placed my piece of electrical tape on the spool as my backing, and now we're ready to go ahead and tie our knot. Now, the most common knots I've seen demonstrated for tying your line to your spool are the uni knot and the arbor knot. And both of those knots will work, but I don't like either one of those knots for the same reason. They both have a high profile. So in order to show you the advantage of the inverted uni knot, we're first going to tie a standard uni knot. And we're not even going to bother with the arbor knot because I hate it so much. Now the first step, regardless of what knot you're tying to the spool of your spinning reel, is always going to be to open the bail. So for the uni knot, I'm just going to take my line around the spool, creating a tag end of about 8 to 9 inches in length. And then I'm going to pinch my main line and tag end together about 3 inches from the spool, leaving about 5 to 6 inches of tag end on this side. Next, we're going to take our tag end down and around, forming a loop, and we're going to pinch that right between our fingers, just like that. And now I'm going to perform some wraps with the tag end, going around the main line and the tag line inside of that loop. And for heavier line, I like to do 4 wraps, and then for lighter line, I'll do 5 or 6 wraps. This is some really heavy line, so we're just going to do 4 wraps here. Now that we've performed our wraps, we're going to pull on the tag line here to cinch that knot up, like so. And once that's done, we can pull our main line now to cinch that knot down to the spool of the reel. Once we get it close to the spool, we just want to work that back and forth like so, and that's going to tighten that knot down close to that spool. And to finish up here, we can just use 2 fingers and encourage that knot down even further as we pull, and that's going to cinch it all the way down. Now we'll go ahead and trim our tag end off. So what I want you to take note of here with the uni knot is the position of the knot. You can see here that it's basically standing straight up. So with that knot standing straight up, when we go to spool our line on, it's going to create a spot of some unevenness there in the center of the reel. So now I'm going to cut this off, and we're going to tie the inverted uni knot and see the difference that it makes in that knot's profile. Now for the inverted uni knot, we want to take our line around the spool again, and the direction that we go around the spool does matter, and I'll show you why in just a second. But in every case, or almost every case, a spinning reel retrieves the line in a clockwise direction, and we want to go around the spool in the opposite direction. So we're going to take our line around the spool in a counterclockwise direction, forming a tag end this time that is a little bit longer, about 11 to 12 inches in length. Now with our standard uni knot, we had our tag line traveling up the main line just like this. But with the inverted uni knot, what we want to do instead is to loop this tag line around so that it is traveling down the main line, and we want to pinch that together just like that. And now we're going to perform our loop again, but this time in the opposite direction, and we're going to pinch that loop again between those 2 fingers just like that. And now we're going to perform the same 4 wraps around our main line and our tag line inside of that loop, but this time we're making our wraps in the direction of the spool instead of going away from it. Once we've made our 4 wraps, we can go ahead and pull on this tag line to cinch that knot down, just like that. And now, just like before, we can pull our main line to cinch that knot all the way down to the spool. And we'll work it back and forth just like before, and we'll encourage that knot down with our fingers just like before to go ahead and finish that up. Trim off our tag end once again. Now I want you to take note of the difference in this knot's profile versus the standard uni knot. We've essentially tied the same knot, but this time our knot is laying down flat against the surface of that spool. And now you'll be able to see why it was important that we went around the spool with our line in the counterclockwise direction. As I flip the bail and start to spool that line on, that it's spooling it on in the same direction that the main line is exiting that knot. And that's going to make sure that it's lying down flat as possible on that spool. And don't worry too much if you do it in the wrong direction, because you can actually loosen up that knot and take off that loop and flip it over. Put it back on the spool, just in case you do it in the wrong direction. And now, just to make the whole process even easier to follow, let's go ahead and watch that again in slow motion.
It's not a game, it's a rage thing.
That's gonna do it for today's video, and I hope you found it useful. Don't forget to subscribe, and feel free to check out the rest of my Knot Easy series if you want to add some more knots to your arsenal. I've got more tips, tricks, tutorials, unboxings, reviews, and adventures coming your way, and I'll see you in the next video.